This week on Talk of the Town, we walk through the old farm corn maze. We also get an update from the Hansons about Mack's family drive-in, because there's nothing scarier than the thought of losing another one of Tremonton's best dining experiences. See when they plan to return. We also have a message from Tremonton's mayor and sports highlights. Talk of the Town is made possible by supportive sponsors who love our community. Show your love by supporting them today.
I'm Kelsey Palmer, and this is my dad, Kevin Hansen. And we've been doing the corn maze, we think, since 2009?
Yep.
And been here for what, like?
16 years. Well, the farm has been in the family over 100 years. It was like about 1900s. So I don't know why they didn't try a corn maze, but
they weren't that crazy.
And the corn's about a foot tall is when we start working the maze. We go out there and cut it. We have another guy that draws it up for us and helps us plant it. And then when it's about a foot tall, we go out there and cut it. And then the rest of the summer is basically maintenance, spraying it for weeds and making sure that everything's taken care of so that when it's full grown, we don't have to go in there and try to make the trails clear, because that doesn't work. I've done that plenty of times. But so we're in there 4 or 5 times before the corn maze starts. And then after our last irrigation, we go back in and smooth the trail out from the irrigation ruts that are in there and trim it up and get ready. And we have the guy that designs it, he also goes out there and puts up our props and everything. So it's, a lot of people think, oh, we just plant it and cut it and print money, you know, and that's not it, boy. There's a lot of work to it, but that's kind of what makes it special. It's just been really enjoyable because we're finally getting to the point, I think maybe another 20 years we'll get it figured out to where our props are basically ready to go, and it takes a lot of the stress off of it, but it's been really enjoyable. That, to me, that's part of the fun. I get to go out with the tractors and everything and pretend like I'm farming, but it's cool. It's the best thing that's ever happened to the farm. Brian Jolly, he's the guy that draws the plans up. He's probably already thinking about next year. There's a technique, like you want some of the trails to lead them here so that they'll be where the coffin is, and then take them over here, and that'll take them clear back out there so they don't come out for like 5 days. But it's always different, and I guess that's part of the excitement, is trying to think of what to do. And I know me and her, we're always like with the props out here, all year long we're looking for deals or something new to add, and about 80% of the time we're looking at something and we're like, oh, that's over our head, man, you know, we can't. But yeah, it's, I don't know, maybe I know I'm a little strange, but it's just exciting all year long. During the year we'll walk past where we store everything and you're like, gosh, this is cool, it's soon gonna be time for the corn maze, you know, and it's just a good time.
I think his favorite thing is, and it was my grandpa's favorite thing, is bringing people to our farm. Like, this was their pride and joy. And not to be able to like show off, but just to be able to like welcome people into what my grandparents loved so much. And I don't know, I think it helps keep our farm alive, because every year we work harder on getting it like cleaned up and keeping it going. So I think that's probably the greatest part about all this. Yeah. And then it's really cool that we're like so trusted by the community, because I'm telling you, we get everybody's kids every weekend, and that's cool that they trust us enough to leave their kids with us, and we do everything we can to keep everybody safe and have fun. So I don't know, there's like a lot of perks to it. It's just a good time.
It's been interesting. We get groups of young kids, and we always have some of them come up and go, you know, what do I have to do to become a haunter? And then all of a sudden, it seems like overnight they're coming back and they're like in high school, and they're like, okay, I'm ready. You said I could be a haunter. And so that's pretty cool because, you know, they've grown up and they keep coming back. And like she said, it's really cool to see the people come out here and just enjoy everything. You know, we've got the animals they can go feed, and they can come in and out as many times as they want. So it's just, that's kind of the main motivators. We know now that people enjoy it when they come out, and that makes everything worthwhile.
My grandparents, his parents, but they've gone on. So it's my dad, and then it's me. And then I got a whole little tribe of children that help out, my husband and his sister. She's usually in the Coke trailer. She helps me in there. And then I have a brother and his family. And then we have like, they're basically like family. Their name is Dee Dee and Brian. They have been around for a long time with us. And they're the ones who like design the maze, and he goes out and sets up the props. And their kids all worked here. And yeah, it's cool. It is definitely, I'm praying, you know, that my kids just want to keep carrying it on too. But it's cool. My little boys, they went out and started haunting like as soon as they could walk, which scared me so bad. And it scared everybody else too, because there's just like this little guy with a clown mask like walking around. But they grew up in it, and it's been fun. A lot of our haunters, we really have had some of them for like, what, like 6 years maybe? Yeah. And all the kids that come, like you'll see them in town. I'm like, how do I know you? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, probably the corn maze. Because everybody, you just get to know them because they come every weekend. And I don't know, it's just really cool.
The only downside to that is it's like any other job. When they finally get old enough to be really good, they come and tell us that they're going to college. And you're like, you can't, give us one more year.
You gotta train the next ones.
The community has been super great because, like our neighbors, we try to keep everything under control. And you know, if it was only like for a weekend, you'd think, well, they'll just ignore us. But you know, it's like a month. And we close at 10 o'clock. But that doesn't mean it's like quiet at 10:15 either. But I don't think we've hardly had one complaint because they understand, and you know, hopefully they come and participate. But it just takes a ton of pressure off of us knowing that we have such a good neighborhood, that they know that we're trying our hardest, and it's just been really great everywhere. One of the biggest challenges, I think, and one of the biggest rewards is kind of the secret to everything is like if we have good haunters or not. Because you can have tons of props and everything, and there's nothing like a guy behind you that just goes boo when you're not expecting it.
We're open Monday through Saturday, but Monday, during the week we're 6 to 9, and then the weekends we are 5 to 10. And pricing is 5 and under is free. And then 6 to 11-year-olds is $7, and then 12 and up is $9. So we try to keep it low so everybody can come. During the weekends, we do like the bonfire type thing, and we do like a movie on the projector. Well, we do lots of movies on the projector. And so people just come, hang out, drink hot cocoa, eat all the goodies, and watch movies. And then, yeah, you can go in and out of the maze as many times as you want. So it's really, besides the maze, it's just like a total hangout for everybody.
Yeah, last weekend we had a couple birthday parties over here. And a lot of times we get the church groups that come out.
Or like the sports groups.
Yeah, so it works out great because, yeah, like she says, after or during the party, they can take off. Sometimes there's not as many kids that go home that came, but we figured
We're not
that
worried
helps us
about
the
it.
next night. So we just encourage people to come out and enjoy themselves. The great thing about it, like we said before, it's a month long, so you know they can come more than once. And this weather this year, sometimes I wonder if it hurts us because it's so good, as people aren't quite in the mood yet. But holy cow, you know, we've had years where
It was so cold.
you couldn't walk out there because it was like muddy. And you know, like you were talking about last year, you know, it was overcast. And so no, we just want people to come out and enjoy the program.
The Hansen family is also the owners of Mack's Family Drive-In. They experienced a fire last May that had people questioning if this was the end of this longtime restaurant. The good news is they've been working on restorations and plan to reopen in 2025. Here's the update from Kevin and Kelsey.
We are definitely coming back. It was quite a struggle to get everything approved, but it's on a roll now.
Yeah.
We're getting all the framing in.
Our target date is right around the first of the year. And the light side of this is, I know, like you said, a lot of people are like, well, are they coming back and this and that? And, you know, I think back that night when we was watching it burn down, and our family and the workers and that, it was never like, gosh, what are we gonna do? It was like, how long is it gonna take before we can come back? So it was never a question of if we were gonna or not. And it's been a little frustrating because of paperwork and everything, but no, it's going to be great. So just so people don't forget us, because we'll be there.
It was a total loss. We lost everything. I mean, we still have our brick wall standing,
Yeah.
but it hurt really bad. Like financially, we don't even know how bad it has hurt us yet, but there's just no other option than to just move forward.
It's something that I hope eventually we can not think about, but
we'll always remember.
Yeah, it was, this year will be, what did I tell you, 66 years, 65?
65.
And so there's a lot of memories there, but we'll be back.
And it's going to be better than ever.
The community we have out here, the Tremonton community in the valley, it's just been great. You know, I think if we could have all got together and wished really hard, it would probably have been there the next day. But yeah, we just can't say enough about the community. That's kind of what makes the whole Mack's Drive-In special. It's the community.
It's going to be beautiful.
It is.
It's going to be everything that they dreamed of, we hope.
It's kind of like the corn maze. We can't give out all the secrets.
But our food, we're going to have the same food. That's what so many people have been like, are you going to change the menu? We have a huge menu, and sometimes I wish it wasn't so huge, but it's still going to be the same food. So we just...
Yeah, there's a reason why it'll be our 65th year, and we're just going to keep the same tradition going. And I know my parents, I get this little poke in the head sometimes when I'm sleeping, and it's like, Kevin, you should be up working up there. And so we got plenty of support on the other side, and we're just going to keep the program going. So pretty soon this little guy will be cooking hamburgers.
On Friday, October 25th, Governor Spencer J. Cox will announce the renaming of Highway 102 to the Borgstrom Brothers Memorial Highway. The public is invited to attend this event at Midland Square at 2:30. Mayor Holmgren discusses this momentous occasion and how it came to be. This has kind of been a long time coming. This has been 80 years. Something was promised that needed to be done. And just tell me what it's been like to see that finally come to fruition. 80 years, you have this memorial service, and now this highway being renamed.
Kathy and I were over to the cemetery in March, and we go over there and we're pulling weeds or we're doing whatever, but we happened to walk over to the Borgstrom Brothers where they're where they're laid. And Kathy was looking at the headstones of the, and she says, "Oh, look!" And it was we were there on the 16th of March, and she says, "Oh, look! Tomorrow it will be 80 years," and that set things in motion. And I have to kind of give tribute to her because she sort of it just sort of clicked. Oh my heck! You know, it's time for us to do something. The Borgstrom brothers all grew up in Thatcher. They aren't from Tremonton, and during the funeral services, you know, they had several dignitaries come, and one thing they didn't want, the Army was not really excited about, was back then the roads out to the Thatcher Cemetery were all dirt roads, and they didn't want the procession to go on a dirt road, so they talked to the city, and anyway, Tremonton stepped forward and said, "Yeah, we'll do this. We'll have them here, and then we'll do something. We want to do something very special about this." Well, over the years, the councils have come and councils have gone, and different council members have, "We need to get this done," and the family's always been, "We need to get this done." Well, it took Kathy to say, "Yeah, look, it's been 80 years, and it was time to get something done," and the stars just aligned, and everything came together, and everybody was willing to pitch in. We had lots of people who donated significantly to make this happen. Rudd Funeral Home, who they redid the headstones, which was like a miracle that they were able to get the headstones redone in the short. We only had 2 months to do this, and they were able to get those headstones redone, matched up exactly as they were, just new. Lots of people just donated just to help out with it. Lewis's, who put together the eagle and had that already done for us, and it was just fun to watch the whole process take place and how everybody joined to make this happen. And it sort of, I think it just showed that the community doesn't forget. All 4 brothers were killed in action, different parts of the world during World War II. So that's a very, very, it's a nice tribute. It's something that we can be very proud of. I don't want to make it just they're the only ones, because there's so many in Tremonton that and in our valley that have sacrificed, and so we just want to make that clear that we don't forget. Had the opportunity to do a tribute to the Borgstrom brothers at the cemetery. The golden eagle, it's an eagle arch that we have out there, and if you go to the cemetery, you can't miss it. Well, we had the governor come in and do a presentation that day at our Memorial Day celebration, and during that celebration, he was really touched by by what had just happened, and learning about the story of the Borgstrom brothers, what a significant thing that was, and what a tribute that is to our community, that we have people that are willing to sacrifice. He came away very moved by that, and by the end of the week, I got a call from Tom Peterson, who was our state representative, and over the weekend they had met with the governor and some of his people, and he was so moved by the whole thing that what they want to do is they want to rename Highway 102, which is the highway that starts out in Deweyville and actually goes through Main Street. Main Street is Highway 102 and goes out west to Thatcher, on through Penrose and through that way. They want to rename that to the Borgstrom Brothers Memorial Highway. 2:30 on the 25th, the governor is coming along with his people, and we're going to have the veterans there. We're going to have a singing group there, Reflections, and we're going to make this a very, very special day.
That Memorial Day service was such a beautiful like you said, everything just came together. It was such a great experience. How do you feel this next event could compare, and why people should come get involved on the 25th?
I think this is sort of the capstone. We'd love to have people come and, of course, listen to the governor and listen to the other presentations and everything that are there. This would just be our opportunity to sort of say, the state now is willing to recognize, it isn't just Tremonton City, but it's the state now willing to recognize, it's the governor now willing to recognize that this is a very significant part of our past. People need to come out and witness this, sort of this very unique event that is taking place for our city.
The highway actually runs past the old farm, is that correct? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, and so if you read the book that talks about the Borgstrom family as they're growing up, you learn about their family. They raised sugar beets. The kids were out there and they hoed beets and they took care of beets and everything else and all the other things that go along with raising a family on a farm. We found the home. It's been sold. Somebody else lives there now. But what the hope is maybe what we do is we put a monument or some kind of a plaque out there or something like that. Just saying this is where this is where they grew up. This was their farm. The governor's coming up to make the announcement, but the process has to go through the legislature. So when the legislature meets after the first of the year, that will be a bill that will come up, and what they will do is they will provide some signage that we can put up that will make the people driving on that road will know that this is the Borgstrom Brothers Memorial Highway. I know the steering committee is very excited about maybe getting some other signage and some other things for that road, that we can make sure that people know about the sacrifice of the Borgstrom family. The American Legion would be a great resource for people to go to. John McClellan is the commander. They have resources and they have information. There is a book that was put out by Tamara Newman several years ago, and in that book, it goes through and they try to identify all of the veterans from the Bear River Valley, and there's a story about each one of those veterans that can be found at the library. The city will make sure that we have information out there on our website.
In other Tremonton news, Councilmember Jeff Holt announced his resignation. Those who are interested can help fill his seat and complete the rest of his term. Here's how.
At our last council meeting, Councilmember Holt came in and indicated that he was going to resign his position effectively that day. He felt like he had some family issues in his faith, and because of that, he is going to be moving back to where his family is in North Carolina. We respect his decision. Councilmember Holt has done a great job working with the council and has brought some great ideas and has a lot of experience that he was able to share with all of us. And so we're going to miss Jeff a lot. But we respect his decision. We respect his decision to move on. As a result of all of that, by state law, we have to, within 30 days, we need to be able to identify another person to serve on the council, to serve in that seat. Right now, what we are asking is if we have people out there that are interested in serving on the city council, we encourage you to send in a resume, an application. Tell us that you want to be on the city council. And then on October 29th, at that city council meeting, we will meet. This will be an open meeting, so everybody will be able to see the applicants as they tell us why they think that they are the right person to be on the city council, and we will interview them. And then that night, we'll make a decision as to who would fill that seat. I really encourage people, if you have any desire to serve, on the city council and public service and make a difference to your community, I encourage you to send in an application, tell us that you're interested, and then what we'll do is we'll listen to everybody, and from there we'll make a decision as to who we feel like is the right person to with the right skill set to make a difference to with our city and the direction we're going.
Tune in next week to see what other spooky things are on the docket for Talk of the Town.